Welcome to the K-Files this morning. We all know the K-Files comes on 8 o'clock on Thursday mornings. It's a very important thing that we do. And so we appreciate Barnes Safety for sponsoring that. And we've done some really good things with the K-Files. And we deal with law enforcement because our role is to help solve cases. But this morning, we also want to have, we like to inform you as well. So we have some board members with the North Carolina Troopers Association. Well, one board member.
Correct.
Philip Ashley.
Philip Briggs.
Briggs. Do you know he sent me Ashley? JP sent me Ashley, and I know you're watching, JP. But anyway, Philip Briggs is here with the North Carolina Troopers Association. And we have Brian James as well, and he's helping with they're having a fundraiser.
We are.
And first, let's talk about, because this is one of the things the fundraiser is for. I'm so impressed with the caisson unit. I mean, whenever I've been to 2 funerals with that caisson unit, and I get chill bumps every single time. It is such a great thing y'all do with that. What brought that about?
Well, somewhere around 2006, a trooper, Ernie Ramsey, had a vision, and he saw a couple of caisson funerals and felt like that it would be something that would be great for North Carolina and the North Carolina, well, with the Highway Patrol as well as the Troopers Association. Mm-hmm. So he put together this idea, and in 2006 they bought a caisson that was made by the Amish up in Pennsylvania.
Oh, wow.
And brought it back, cleaned it up, sanded it down, painted it, got it painted, and that's the same one that we're using today.
Wow. Well, I said it has to take, horses eat,
Mm-hmm.
horses have to go to the vet.
Yes, ma'am.
I mean, it's an expensive proposition.
It is. We got 7 horses now. They're housed down in Wayne County.
Mm-hmm.
Trooper Benny Grady has them at his farm.
Uh-huh.
He tends to them as well as his other duties with the Highway Patrol, so he has to take care of those. We got approximately 12 to 16 members that are trained that can function on that unit for a funeral. Mm-hmm. And it takes a minimum of 6 just to do the funeral on the caissons portion, and then obviously honor guard and so forth to do removal of the casket and everything.
Now, this is used for law enforcement officers solely?
No, ma'am. It's used for heads of state, sitting senators, congressmen, pretty much it's a partner. It is a partnership with the Highway Patrol, and we do fallen first responders. So it could be a fireman, it could be an LEO,
right.
It could be a EMS. It's really up to the family first and foremost, whether or not they want this type of funeral mm-hmm. for their loved
right.
one.
Yeah. And I think JP told me that y'all don't really turn anybody down if there is a request
right.
for this.
Right. We do the very best we can to do every funeral that we get asked for. We travel North Carolina, Georgia, Virginia.
Oh, really?
Tennessee.
I thought this was a North Carolina thing. Oh, wow.
Well, when it was formed, they just said we're going to do bordering counties. We can't go all the way across the United States because of just the cost involved in it, mm-hmm. and the members that are actually on the team are current troopers, sergeants, first sergeants, or whatever with the Highway Patrol. So we do bordering states, and we limit it to that.
It is I think it's just a fantastic thing. Okay, so as I said, it takes money to have something like this. So we, the public, have to step up to the plate when there's a fundraiser. So y'all are now, tell us, Brian, you want to tell us about the fundraiser a little bit?
So I got involved because that unit needs fundraising and money. It takes between $75,000 and $100,000 a year to maintain that unit with the services that they do and just the daily eating and of the horses. So we do a shrimp and oyster and barbecue roast. We've done 3 of them. This will be the 4th one. We're doing it at the Rocky Mountain Mills on February the 19th from 5 to 9. And it's all you can eat. The tickets are on sale for $50 each. You can get them on the nctacason.org's website. You can contact Philip. Philip's got some. J.P. Barnes has got some. I've got some at my office at Cherry Equipment Rentals.
Right.
And it's a great event. It's a great night. Folks that have come have talked about it. They've had a great time. We got Chandler James. He's coming to play that night.
Oh, really? Okay.
And he's donated his time also. And then we'll have some solid auction items there that night. And we'll have adult beverages that you can purchase also.
Okay. Now, y'all set up tents. Is that correct?
We're going to do this in a tent. We're going to do it in a tent in the lower parking lot at the mill. And it's going to be climate controlled. So if it's snowing that night, or if it's raining that night, or if it's a beautiful night, we're going to have this event, and it's going to be under shelter with climate control. So.
Well, it sounds exciting because, you know, everybody, my husband I bought some tickets. My husband said, oh boy, an oyster roast, you know. I said, well, you know, they also have, for those of you that, a lot of women, you know, you may not eat oysters, they're going to have barbecue. You're going to have alternatives.
We do. So we have shrimp and oysters, which is a big take for a lot of people. And then a lot of folks don't like oysters, so the barbecue side of it is in there, and the fixings for all that.
I think it's good that you do have an alternative.
And so we'll have oyster tables set up for the oyster part of it, and we'll have seating tables so you can sit down and eat. You don't have to hold your plate.
That's going to be a big tent.
That's a big tent. Pretty good sized tent. Yeah.
Wonder who's providing the tent.
So Cherry Equipment Rental will be providing the tent. You know, I got involved in this. I've always looked for something to every business needs to donate to something.
Yes.
And you get hit all the time. And my background came from fire and rescue. I was in Stony Creek for years.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Well, some sad times now.
It is.
We're fixing to do a show with them.
I really hated to see them close, but you know, they couldn't get the volunteers.
I know.
When I was in, we had over 120 volunteers.
Well, we're aging out, Brian. We're getting older.
But so my background was there, and I was looking something, and so originally got involved in this. When Sneak Lewis got killed here, I saw the caisson for the first time.
Right.
I thought that was
that's where one of the times I saw it.
Deal. I was kind of intrigued with it.
Yeah.
And then when Gene DeMuth got killed, the caisson was back here, and I spent 2 hours the night of his visitation with the guy that had the horses at the time.
Oh, really?
And learned, trying to get some insight of what the unit did and what their funding was, and found out that they were borrowing trucks to haul the horses and the caisson. And so I knew that I needed to do some type of fundraiser, and Al Morris down at the beach had come to me about helping with a fish tournament, so I do that one also.
Okay.
And that's in October, and we've done that for 11 years. And then I told Philip, I said, I want to come up with something, and Philip called me one January and said, I figured out the fundraiser. And
wow.
And so we took the ball and ran with it.
And that's fun. Oysters and things, you know, oyster roast are always fun. It's a fun thing.
It is.
You know, and so we're so glad that you stepped up to the plate, Brian, and took the ball and kind of ran with it. So where are the horses kept?
At Trooper Benny Grady's farm in Wayne County, outside of Goldsboro.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Okay.
He has a horse farm that he has some of his horses, but then he maintains our equipment, truck, trailer, and obviously the horses. And they're just like a human. They have to eat and do the things that they have to do every single day. And as you stated earlier, vet bills, shoeing. They have to be ready at any point in time. We pride ourselves in that 24 hours we can be getting on the road. Now in that 24 hours it requires a lot of troopers to come in, get everything ready, cleaned up, straightened up, packed up, load the horses up, fueled up, and then maybe travel 5, 6, 7 hours of traveling. And then it's usually a 4-day mission. from beginning to end by the time they get back. You know, they have a day of prep before the funeral, have the funeral that day, and then they travel back the next day.
Wow. That's, well, if you've ever seen it, if you've never seen it, people, it will just, as I said, send chills. Won't it, Brian?
It will.
Just sends chills up your spine. It's just a great way, and we do thank the Highway Patrol for offering this and doing this. So anyway, we're going to take a break. We're going to keep you guys on and talk some more. We'll be right back right after this.
Being prepared and trained is the best way to keep your family safe. The best way to be prepared is to learn from those who've spent a lifetime protecting us. Barnes Safety and Consulting LLC offers concealed carry classes with instructors who are law enforcement officers active and retired with more than 100 years of law enforcement experience. Monthly classes are taught year-round with private classes and special group rates available. Classes are $75 and held in the Bailey area. Call or text 1-800-653-0643. Get your concealed carry permit and avoid becoming a victim.
And welcome back to the K-Files this morning. We have some wonderful guests with us. We have Philip Briggs and we have Brian James. And we thank both of them for coming this morning to give us this, great information about their fundraiser. And we'll mention this again at the end of this segment. But first of all, so you are a board member of the North Carolina Troopers Association.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, that is a 5013C, you said.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, tell us a little bit about the Troopers Association.
The Troop Association got started many years ago, and through a lot of leadership of the presidents and so forth, we're at a point where we, the troopers that, not all troopers, but most of them donate, pay a due every month. Out of that, usually it's comes straight out of their paycheck and they never ever see it. And of that, we provide. You know, unfortunately, we sometimes have to provide legal assistance. But the biggest thing that we do is support troopers and their families. If there's a need, if they have and our logo is Troopers Helping Troopers.
Right.
So a trooper out in the mountains maybe end up, a little bit of his money may end up going to a trooper on the East Coast.
Right.
So if one has some type of disaster that hits their home, flood, burn, fire, any of that nature, we donate money to them to help get them, prop them up. We also have numerous connections across the United States that we've had troopers' kids that needed surgeries or they needed some treatment and whatnot, and we've contacted people that we've met and made contacts with across the United States. They go and they land in New York, and there's a New York State trooper sitting there waiting for them and escorting them wherever they need to be and providing them with whatever might happen. So it's all about some connections. It's all about helping everybody. On the sad part, when you start dealing with a death of a trooper, and we just recently had one.
Right.
We showed up the next day, or the Troop Association showed up the next day and gave them a substantial check, gave his wife a substantial check that would help her get through the process that she needed to get through.
Wow. That means a lot. I mean, that means something right there. So this is a fundraising arm
This is
of the Highway Patrol, kind of.
This is a fundraising arm for the North Carolina Troopers Association, for the members of the association and so forth.
Because the Sheriff's Association don't they have a Sheriff's Association
they do.
also?
They do.
Yeah,
Yes.
I thought so. So, yeah, go ahead.
Well, from that, the K-Sign came along, and we had to get them two separated because of donations. So somebody can donate to the association, they can donate to the K-Sign. This is what this fundraiser will go directly to the K-Sign. Everything that we can get out of it will go to them. We started it in 2018. We started it with a very minimal crowd. We did pretty good, maybe about 250 to less than 300.
Right.
Next year, I think we were over 500, and the third year, we did an exhausting 900.
Right. Wow.
people that we fed that evening.
Wow.
And had a great turnout, and then obviously COVID came around, and that kind of shut us down for about a year and a half, 2 years now, and we're trying to get it back going. So we're doing it in February this year, and keep having the support. We're going to probably look at putting it back on its regular date, and that being in November.
Great. Well, I really appreciate y'all doing this, because I think it's a great thing for, as you said, heads of state, law enforcement, whomever has the benefit of using it. It is just a great thing. It's such a memorable time for the family to have something like this.
It is. It's it'll make you tingle just thinking about it. And Rocky Mount, unfortunately, has had the opportunity to see this happen at least 4 times that I know about.
Wow.
Anytime that it happens, it's an unfortunate situation. But these fallen officers are honored in a fashion that props them up, props the community up, props their family up, and gives them the dignified funeral service that they deserve.
That's exactly right. So when did you say you got into this fundraising, Brian? How long have you been doing this?
So I started helping Al Morris with the fishing tournament at Atlantic Beach that he does in October. We've done it 11 years. And then this will be the 4th time that we've done this shrimp and oyster roast.
So you've been involved a while in this. It's got to be rewarding.
We used to have
a rewarding thing.
It is. And fire and rescue is my background. And once you do it, I think you always keep it in your blood.
That's what I've heard. That's what people tell me.
Most of my close friends are in law enforcement. Mm-hmm. That's the direction I wanted to go growing up, and while I was in Stony Creek, until I had a great opportunity from the former owner of Charity Equipment Rental, David Bryant. Mm-hmm. Just offered me a tremendous opportunity, and so I'm in business doing this now.
And you do a great business.
And it's taken a lot of my time. I love it. I love all my customers. Mm-hmm. Love the events that we do, and I love helping law enforcement and fire and rescue.
Right. So that's very admirable, I think, that y'all have a cheerleader like this, like Brian Phillip, to help along.
He's a great partner. Me and him are good friends, and we bounce things off each other all the time. And I've been bugging him about lots of different things that the association has done over a period of time, and the Quezon is just something that he has attached himself to, and is really passionate about
people. And that hit Brian. Things hit you, that you're interested in, and I guess that hit Brian.
And I'm passionate about it. I talk to Benny that has the horses right regular. I constantly ask questions about them. Do they need any equipment? What their needs are? Mm-hmm. And I reckon it goes back to where they didn't have any trucks to even pull these things.
Right.
And we want this unit to stay first class.
Absolutely.
We want the equipment to stay first class. And like last year, it may have been the year before, they ordered new tack gear.
Right.
And so you got to have tack gear for 5 horses, which was $25,000.
See, people don't realize that.
That's money that has to be raised to purchase that. And they've got 7 horses, I think, right now, and one of them is kind of semi-retired. So at some point, a pair of horses has got to be bought.
Right.
Which is going to cost, and it has to be a special breed. It has to be a special height, certain color. You don't want a black and white mixed in there. These are all black horses, and that pair is probably going to run somewhere around $10,000.
Wow.
And you've got to search and find it, and they could be anywhere in the United States. And
wow.
The team that does it, I don't get involved in any of that, but the team that does it, they do a good job of going and looking.
Right.
So I counted up last night. I know that team has been in this region, and when I say this region, we're Rocky Mount, but we're also Nash, Edgecombe, Wilson, Halifax, Northampton. This is the region, and we need to look at that as a business also. But they've done 7 funerals here that I know of. 6 of them have been law enforcement officers, and one of them has been a head of state.
Wow.
And we hope they never come back again for another law enforcement.
That's right.
And I tell that all the time. But
if it does happen,
we want them to be ready.
have
We want them to be first class when they come in here.
that is.
And so the night of the shrimp and oyster roast, unless they're on a mission,
right.
the horses will be here.
So they'll be there so people can
They will.
visually see what they're donating to.
Right. And we've had, so 2 of the times we've had it, they've actually left missions and came here. One of them was the Northampton County deputy that got killed. They did his funeral and then came to the
Wow.
to the shrimp and oyster roast. Then they left Greensboro on one and came straight to it so that the horses
Wow.
would be here.
Isn't that something? So
so-
they're making a concerted effort to
Those troopers
make
that are
sure
on
their
that
own
team,
location for your event if they can.
they are. And those troopers that are on that team, they give more than just being a highway patrol trooper, and they've still got to do their duty deeds and stopping cars and whatever else they're assigned to do.
Sure.
But they also, a lot of them are thrilled to come to this event and be part of it also. So.
Very good. So volunteers, do you need volunteers?
Well, down at Trooper Grady's farm, he's always looking for volunteers, and he has
Okay.
people that drive up at, just to want to see the horses, that find out about these things, and he's always got somebody coming there. As volunteers of the night of the event, yes, we would love to have some volunteers. We've
Okay.
got we have to have people at the door taking in tickets that, and also taking in donations or whatever might be coming in. We've got, Leon Nixon Catering out of Edenton is the one who does the
Okay.
whole event for us, and they do a wonderful job. His people takes care of the food line, and we provide people to basically come out with buckets of oysters and throw them on the table. This is not this is not going to be something where you're going to walk through a line and we're going to give you 5 oysters and then you get back in line again. We're going to throw them on the table and let you get your belly full.
Wow.
And then when you get done, there'll be a trash can, push it right in the hole, and everything's gone, and we'll start back over again. So
That's just fun.
for about 2 hours of steaming oysters and bringing them inside and throwing them on the table and then going back out and doing it all over again.
Well, it's going to be a fun event, I know that, on February 19th. Now, let's talk about the tickets again. Tell them, Philip, Brian, how can we get tickets?
Well, you can order online. You can go to North Carolina Troopers Association, cason.org online, and you can purchase them. When it pops up, you'll be able to purchase tickets right there. You can go to the North Carolina Troopers Association website, and it'll be the same link there that you can purchase them online. You can pay for them, PayPal, whatever it might need to be. You can buy a hard copy ticket from either one of us. Stephanie Allen with Boone Hill Allen and Ricks has several tickets for us.
And I know J.P. Barnes has some too.
JP does
got some.
have them. Someone can call me, call Brian, we'll make it happen, we'll get tickets to you. And the goal is to try to get this thing started, crank back up, because about almost 20 months now we've been down and we hadn't been able to do anything. So, and I'm sure at some point in time there may be something here on your program that you can provide a phone number for them.
We'll certainly keep announcing this on the K-Files as we go along on the morning show. JP and I both will do that. Go ahead.
We do need to make sure everybody understands they're $50 a piece, $50 per person.
Right.
That is all you can eat: fish, shrimp, barbecue, oysters. I think green beans, cornbread.
Who cares about the green beans and the cornbread?
There's plenty of food for everybody, whether you like fish or you like or you don't like oysters or whatnot. There's plenty, like you stated earlier. There's plenty of food for everybody, and obviously with some entertainment. We're looking at. One thing we are looking for is if anybody would like to donate some type of silent auction item. We've done very, very well with those over the first 3 times that we had this.
People love
event.
silent auctions. I'm one that just, I do. I like those.
And get carried away.
Yeah, I do get carried away. My husband just says, let me eat oysters, you go do what you got to do, so I won't know what's spent. But anyway, so there might be some people out there that say, I'm not going to be able to go, or it's not a convenient night for me, or I don't, I'm not going, whatever reason, you're not going to be able to go, that's okay. You can still purchase a ticket. I know some people that just bought tickets and they said, I'm just going to do it for the donation.
That's
You
right.
can do that.
That's
You don't
right.
have to go. You don't have to go.
That's exactly
Just
right.
give us the money. No, just buy a ticket because, Brian and Philip just told you what it's for such a good cause, And we never know, we hope not, but we never know when we're going to have another fallen officer or, as they said, head of state or whatever, that deserves this, this caisson unit and this display that they put on at the funeral. So please, it is an expensive endeavor, as we said, to have this caisson unit. So it's just a donation. Look at it that way. $50 a ticket, 2 tickets, $100. Give them $100 or more if you want. But if you're led to do that, like Brian, Brian was very into it, got very into it, and was very interested in it. Maybe you feel led to just give a donation. You can do that
Yes, ma'am.
by calling the same folks that they just told you could get tickets from. So, anyway, all right. Well, thank y'all.
Thank you for having us.
Some good information y'all had this morning for us, so I really appreciate that. All right, we're going to go to break, and they won't be with me next segment, but we'll come back with some weather, because I don't know about it. Y'all are going to be busy.
I'll be working, yes, ma'am.
You will be working?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, gosh. Well, anyway, we hope there won't be many accidents. So, we'll be right back.
Being prepared and trained is the best way to keep your family safe. The best way to be prepared is to learn from those who've spent a lifetime protecting us. Barnes Safety and Consulting LLC offers concealed carry classes with instructors who are law enforcement officers active and retired with more than 100 years of law enforcement experience. Monthly classes are taught year-round with private classes and special group rates available. Classes are $75 and held in the Bailey area. Call or text 1-800-653-0643. Get your concealed carry permit and avoid becoming a victim.
Okay, I'm flying solo today. JP is under the weather just a little bit, so we hope he's going to feel better, and he'll be back next week, maybe. We'll see. But anyway, I want to talk about a case. We've got a few minutes. I certainly enjoyed having those two gentlemen on with us this morning to enlighten us a little bit about the caisson unit with the Highway Patrol, because I think it's just a fabulous thing that they do. Okay, I want to talk about this case this morning because it is a definite, it's a K-Files case. If we remember, it was a Pine Tops case. Edgecombe County Sheriff's Office was searching for a 34-year-old Orlando Quantrell McNair. At one time, they were searching for him and his 3 sons. And according to the Sheriff's Office, the incident is was a domestic and isolated incident. Orlando McNair was responsible for the murder of a male victim during a domestic-related shooting incident that occurred on Davistown Mercer Road just after 10 p.m. on Christmas night. Shame for it to happen, period, but on Christmas night, just a shame. He also, after the murder, he took his 3 sons from the residence after killing the victim, and was believed to be operating a silver 2007 Chevrolet Trailblazer, all of that. And they couldn't find, while deputies arrived on the scene, they informed dispatchers that CPR was in progress and that EMS could proceed to the residence approximately 3 or 4 minutes after EMS arrived. A deputy came across the radio and advised dispatchers that they had a signal 99, which means deceased. So the shooting incident resulted in this particular victim passing away. the victim's girlfriend who witnessed the shooting, so she knew who shot her boyfriend. She knew, was able to tell deputies that McNair was responsible for the shooting and why. That's how deputies learned McNair was the shooter. An Amber Alert was issued for the children. The children were 14, 11, and 9 years old. What a scary situation for the children. And they were asking for the whereabouts of Orlando McNair for a couple of weeks, since December 25th. And so let me go to another email here. So this past week, a tip was called in to the Edgecombe County Sheriff's Department, and this came from one of the Team Cold Case K-File flyers that was posted. Someone saw one of our flyers and called the sheriff's office and knew where Orlando McNair was located. And so they went to the residence where he was supposedly located, and he was there. And he was taken without incident. He was arrested without incident. So they were able to capture him, and the tipster is entitled to an amount of money from our Team Cold Case funds because they did call in the tip. So our board discussed this, and I wrote a check for this and handed it over to law enforcement, and I think this individual has been paid off, has been paid. So this is how it works, folks. Everybody knows something about every crime. This person got a nice check for doing what we should do anyway. But it is hard. People are scared. I know they're scared. But you must do the right thing to give families closure. To give families closure and to get people off the street. This guy needed to be taken off the street. And Edgecombe County has done that, and the person that called in the tip has been rewarded. So that's how it works. So if you know anything about any of the cases that we discuss on this show every week, we bring in Nash County one week, we bring in Rocky Mount, we bring in Edgecombe County. They tell you about cases. We talk about cases that have unsolved murders all the time, and they could be solved by someone out there. It could be solved by you because somebody knows something. Get a little cash. We pay cash. We pay cash. So anyway, we write the check is cashed and given to the person, so you do get cash. Please do the right thing. And our tip line is 406-6736, or you absolutely can call any of the authorities, any of the departments, Nash, Edgecombe, Rocky Mount, Halifax, Wilson, whatever it may be. Or you can call the tip line, 406-6736. It is completely anonymous. I will not know who you are. I don't know who just called in the tip for Orlando McNair. I do not know, and I will not know. The board will not know. Only law enforcement. You are protected. So we do encourage you to do the right thing. All right, well, that's all of the K-Files today. I think you've had a very informative show in front of you this morning, so hope you will feel led to donate or buy tickets from the Highway Patrol for the Caisson unit from the North Carolina Troopers Association. So make it a great day, everybody. Make it a safe day in the weather. Be careful out there.
Being prepared and trained is the best way to keep your family safe. The best way to be prepared is to learn from those who've spent a lifetime protecting us. Barnes Safety and Consulting LLC offers concealed carry classes with instructors who are law enforcement officers active and retired with more than 100 years of law enforcement experience. Monthly classes are taught year-round with private classes and special group rates available. Classes are $75 and held in the Bailey area. Call or text 1-800-653-0643. Get your concealed carry permit and avoid becoming a victim.